Alright guys, we're going to be jumping into our last section of chapter 1, which is 1.4, and we're going to be solving absolute value equations. But for now, let's go ahead and suppose the value of x plus 7 is 6 spaces away from 0 on a number line. Where would x plus 7 be located? So where would x plus 7 be located? So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a number line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line. Alright, we know that x plus 7 is going to be 6 spaces away from 0 on a number line. So 6 spaces from 0 is either going to be 6. So here, x plus 7 could be 6 because it's 6 spaces away from 0. But it could also be -6 because -6 is also 6 spaces away from 0. So x plus 7 can either be -6 or it can be 6. And is, when we say something is in math, we're going to be using the equal symbol. So x plus 7 is or is equal to -6, or x plus 7 is or is equal to +6. These are very simple equations that we're used to seeing, so I'm going to go ahead and solve these real quick. Again, to undo this adding 7, we are going to go ahead and subtract 7 from both sides, leaving us with x equals -13. Same thing for this equation. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 7 to undo the adding 7, leaving us with x equals -1. So in order for x plus 7 to be 6 spaces away from 0 on a number line, x either needs to be -13 or x equals -1. I know we're being very wordy with this example right here, so I'm going to give you guys a shorter way of saying, like a shortcut. So a shorter way of saying the distance from something to 0 on a number line is basically saying, so again, a shorter way of saying the distance from something to 0 on a number line is really saying the absolute value of something. So in words, which is what we've been working with so far in these notes, is again the distance of x plus 7 to 0 on a number line is 6 spaces. In math, we're always working with symbols, with math symbols. So the symbol or the symbolic version of these words is the distance of x plus 7. So that's the absolute value of x plus 7. And the absolute value symbols are these bars on the side. So the absolute value of x plus 7 is equal to 6 spaces. So again, this number is the number of spaces that x plus 7 is from 0. All right? At this point, you can go ahead and pause the video and run through these notes as many times as you need. And then we will move on to some examples. All right. Let's go ahead and look at our first example. So we have the absolute value of 2x plus 4 equals 2. This is our symbolic version of absolute value. I'm also going to put in words what the meaning of this is. So the meaning we have, this is telling us that 2x plus 4 is 2 spaces from 0. So the numbers that are 2 spaces away from 0 can either be -2 or +2. That tells us that 2x plus 4 can either be 2 or 2x plus 4 can be -2. Again, these are very similar equations that we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. So again, we want to isolate our 2x by doing the inverse of adding 4. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides, leaving us with 2x equals -2. And to get x isolated, we're going to go ahead and undo this multiplication by doing division by 2 on both sides, leaving us with x equals -1. Same thing on this equation on our second possibility. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides, leaving us with 2x equals -6. To get our x isolated, I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2, leaving us with x equals -3. So in order for 2x plus 4 to be 2 spaces away from 0, x can either be -1 or x can be -3. All right, let's go ahead and look at our second example. So we have 3x minus 1, the absolute value of 3x minus 1 equals 7. Again, our meaning of this is 3x minus 1 is 7 spaces from 0. So 7 spaces from 0 can either be +7 or -7. So that tells us that 3x minus 1 is at -7 on a number line. so it can live at -7, or 3x minus 1 can also be at 7, because 7 and -7 are both 7 spaces from 0. So let's go ahead and solve these equations like we always do. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides, leaving us with 3x equals -6. I want to get my x by itself, so I'm going to undo this multiplication and divide by 3 on both sides, leaving us with x equals -2. Same thing on this side. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides, leaving us with 3x equals 8. I want to keep isolating my x, so I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 3, leaving us with 8/3. So in order for 3x minus 1 to be 7 spaces away from 0, x can either be -2 or x can be 8/3. We have one more example, which is going to be our shortest example. And after this example, you guys are going to try some on your own. So for our third example, we have the absolute value of 5x plus 2 equals -8. The meaning of this, again, it's the same structure. So 5x plus 2, which is what we have in absolute value signs, is -8 spaces from 0. On a number line or any distance, remember that distance can never be negative. You know, we can never be -10 feet away from something or -1 mile away. So since distance can never be negative, that's going to mean that we have no solution because it's just not possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put a note here. Distance can never be negative. So that means that there's no solution. Go ahead and stop here. You can run through these notes as many times as you need, and you guys will be working on some of these on your own. So do your best, and you can refer back to this video as many times as you need.